Oh, good evening, everybody. I'm sitting here in my reclining chair. It's a little cold here in Beverly Hills, but I should not complain. Because people, most of the country is hunkered down for this big snowstorm that's coming. This is the latest I've ever done a YouTube video. And I want to share some things about, you all know who I am. I'm Spado, the accidental gangster. Agent Orange, first one to come in here, my friend. How you doing tonight? You know, this is the first time at Agent Orange I ever did a live video this late. I said, let me try it, see how it goes, and hopefully we get some people here. You have a good day today, buddy? I had a good day. I had lunch. I went up to El Pastel here in Beverly Hills. I showed you the picture a lot. Okay, and there's my gal Fawn. How are you? Okay, had a good lunch today. Had a salad. I don't eat much, no drinks, and I just started telling you. I don't know where you folks are. Okay, but a lot of you who's back east, anybody? There's Tammy. She's back east. Hello, Tammy. Okay. Uh, Are you all hunkered down for this snowstorm that's coming? I want to get into all the money being stolen. All the money that was raised for the homeless people is being stolen. They call one guy, but they're going to catch a lot more. I'll get into that in a minute. But, I want to talk about what's going on in Minneapolis. What's going on in Minneapolis should not be here. Sonia, how are you, honey? All right, thank you for coming. All right? Folks, don't forget, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. A federal agent shot and killed a Minnesota resident. This guy was carrying a gun. You're just getting notifications. Boy, homemade meatball. Oh, I made homemade meatballs too, Tammy. And I made them just like my mother did. I gotta tell you, they're great. I got somebody coming for lunch tomorrow. I'm going to have them here. I'm going to make a nice pasta. And yeah, Nicholas, he wasn't using it, but I don't know what the hell. Why can't they stop these protesters? Why doesn't Governor Walz and that mayor? I feel he's a clown, that mayor. Okay? Hello, Anthony. Huh? Oh, thank you, Parker Schroff. All right? I appreciate it, buddy. Folks, you know why? Used to have a moderator, and now I'm getting text messages. She's starting something. I don't know what's going on, but I don't pay attention to it. She's got some hatred out for me for some reason, and I don't understand. But folks, you know me, I do everything myself, and That's the way it's going to be. I don't need a moderator. Okay, maybe when I get bigger, I got close to 15,000 subscribers. All right? Huh? I was born in 1944, just before the end of World War II. Yep. I never tell you the story. I was born December 17th, but they didn't take me home until Christmas because my mother had some complications. And all my father's friends were there, the Christmas tree, a big Christmas tree. Okay, we always had a big Christmas tree. We had a big family. Everybody's there waiting for me to come home. And they put me under the Christmas tree to take a picture, okay? And that Christmas tree fell over. I swear to God. Yeah, it really happened. Oh, well, what are you going to do, But I wanted to share that story with you folks, okay? Lily said at 34, 44, Lily. All right? Hello, Daniel. How are you? All right, Jordea, how you doing? Christmas baby, I was. Yeah, hi, April. I want to try to say hi to everybody here tonight. Carol Smoke. Huh? You can't smoke here, buddy. You two don't let you. But anyways, folks, you know that we've been having a great big problem here in Los Angeles with the homeless. And it doesn't get better. And they raise billions and billions of dollars. The state, the city, Governor Newsom said he's going to do this. He didn't do nothing. Okay, as usual. He just wants to show his pretty face and be in the limelight every time he could. And then you got this Karen Bass. Now, I live in Beverly Hills, so I don't get the vote in Los Angeles. Okay, Beverly Hills is its own city for those of you who don't know. Okay? But billions and billions of dollars are being stolen by a course. Okay? And you've heard me say this before. If you want to become a millionaire, get into politics. You begin with nothing, but the moment you get elected, you're going to become a millionaire. Okay? Because from the city, the state, and our federal government, that's all they're doing is stealing. And one president is saying, I'm going to clean the swamp. Yeah, he cleans the swamp of the other party and then fills it with his own party. Okay? Thank you, Freddie. I do trust Jesus Christ. All right? So your internet quit on you? How come? Oh, my God. That's not good. Folks, please subscribe, like, share, and do all that good stuff for me. Snowing back there, huh? Folks, tell me where you are and how much snow you got. I spoke to my daughter in upstate New York, and they're going to get like 2 feet of snow, I heard. All right? Eric wants to hear a war story. I'm going to tell you a war story before I begin. I'm going to tell you a war story about Steven Seagal. You all know Steven? You know who he is, right? The guy that made Steven Seagal was a guy named Jules Nassau, who's a friend of mine, by the way. Okay, I only spoke to him. George Gallo put me on the phone with him a couple weeks ago. All right, nice guy. They're doing another movie called Gambino. It's going to be directed by John Woo and Coppola's nephew, what's his name? The actor. Why do I forget? Great actor is going to play Carlo Gambino. Okay, I forgot. Anyways, I was up at Steven's house when he had a home. It was over on Morningside over there in West Los Angeles. And he had a problem because ICM was holding $2 million because the producers didn't feel that he did, what he was supposed to do for a certain movie to these two producers. One was from Los Angeles, the other happened to be up in Canada. So I met with the first producer. I said, I'll take care of it, $2 million. Hey, I thought I could make a good score here. 10%, 200 grand, right? So, and you all know that I was friends with Sonny Franchise right up until the day he passed away. Yeah. So, anyways, I met with the producers. I met them over at the Four Seasons Hotel, had a nice talk with them, got it corrected. They called ICN to release the $2 million to Steven Seagal. Now, I was about to go to his house when Johnny Franchise, Sonny's real son, was with me one day. We're in the car. He said, let's call Steven. I said, no, I'd rather not. No, let me call Steven, he said. And he gets Steven on the phone. Now, Steven don't know who I'm with. Steven knows me. He doesn't know who I'm with. I don't go around telling people I'm with so-and-so. I just didn't do that shit. I had to do it one time up in San Francisco, okay, when I got called in by the guys up in San Francisco. That's another story for another time. And Johnny says, hey, you know, I'm here with Ori. Okay, you know, Ori's been friends with my father for over 30 years. I went like this. I just cringed. Because Steven Seagal was deathly afraid of Sonny Franchise. And sometimes you gotta get rid of people. They come in here disrespectful. I come to you folks with respect, okay? And I appreciate all you folks who come here, listen to me, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and you do all those good things. All right? Have I shaken Frank Sinatra's hand? My friend, I've shaken his hand more than once, trust me. Frank and I used to be together quite often. Also with Dean Martin, okay? But let me tell you this story. Now, here it is, Steven Seagal had turned rat against Jules Nassau, Peter Gotti, all right, and other guys. If I go to Steven and say, try to collect money that's really, all right, mine, because I earned it, he's a rat. He's going to say I tried to extort him. So I didn't get a penny. Now, in my book, The Accidental Gangster, for those of you who read it, okay, I changed Steven's name. I did that for a reason. I didn't want no problems. And I changed his name, but for those of you now, you know, when I'm talking about an actor and $2 million in my book, all right, no, nothing smoking here. Maybe it's the light. What do you think? Is that better? Huh? Okay. So anyways, I never got a penny. I was on some show. I don't know what it was. YouTube or Facebook, Instagram. I can't remember where. And I said something about Steven. Steven wrote me, wanted me to call him in Russia. I told Steven, I got no desire to talk to you. You're a freaking rat. You'll always be a rat. And that was it. Okay? Folks, I got a lot of gangster stories. But, I keep telling you, the real gangster, the real mafia, and remember, that name mafia is a name that the U.S. attorney came up with, okay? As far as I am concerned, it still does not exist. But anyhow, I told you, the real mafia is our government. And it's getting worse, folks. I don't know what's going to happen anymore. But now, they're starting to do different things and they're catching somebody. Los Angeles, California, a Westwood man accused of misappropriating millions of dollars in homeless funds meant for his South Los Angeles-based charity was arrested Friday, federal prosecutors announced. Folks, for your information, I'm in Beverly Hills. The next city over, all right, is Westwood. Okay, very nice area. I used to live there on the Wilshire corridor many years ago. It's all high-rise building, high-rise apartments. You see some of my videos, okay? Thank you there. Thank you, Stashley. Okay? So anyways, let's get back to this guy. All right? Alexander Soofer, Soofer, 42 years old. And remember, I said charity. It's all under the auspices of charities that these people are robbing money. Okay? He was charged with wire fraud, the United States Attorney Office for the Central District of California said. He's accused of fraudulently obtaining $23 million in public money intended to combat homelessness and pocketing at least $10 million of it, including using it for a $7 million home in Westwood. $125,000 for a Range Rover, private school tuition for his children, private jet travel, and stays at luxury resorts, according to federal prosecutors. Now, this is all allegedly, got to be found guilty in a court of law, okay? All right, he's alleged to have stolen millions of dollars designated to combat homelessness in Los Angeles. Special Agent charged Tyler Hatcher of the IRS Criminal Investigation, the Los Angeles field office, said in a written statement. These funds were intended to support the city's most vulnerable residents. IRS Criminal Investigation is committed to pursuing those who exploit public programs for personal gain. Folks, there's only one person. They got the guy that worked for Governor Newsom, okay? They got him on fraud charges. Folks, you're going to see this thing spiral because this guy probably knows other people doing the same thing and he'll end up becoming an informant on others so he gets less time. Schufer was the executive director of Hyde Park-based Abundant Blessing. Yeah, you got to put religion. Abundant Blessing entered multiple contracts with the Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority to provide housing for people who were homeless or were at risk of becoming homeless, prosecutors said. Folks, I'm a gangster. I'm a gangster at heart. But I gotta be honest, okay? I stole a lot of money. I've done a lot of things in my life. But I can't steal from people who need it. I never did that in my life. We stole from people who could afford it, okay? This guy's taking hard-earned money that citizens donated, all right? And I'm talking billions of dollars, all right? Just so he could live a lavish lifestyle. Do you know how many high-rise buildings Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, they paid overpriced for those properties under the auspices to house homeless people? Folks, one day they showed on television 6 buildings, high rises. I'm talking 15, 20-story buildings. Not one homeless person in any of them. See what they do, folks? Now, why they pay overpriced? They paid millions of dollars more for the property than it was worth, okay? So they can get money back on the other end. That's how they work. Of that, more than 5 million came directly from LAHSA, Los Angeles Housing Authority, and more than 17 million came through a downtown Los Angeles-based nonprofit called Special Services for Groups Inc., prosecutors said. This guy allegedly prioritized his own greed and decency and respect for the laws of our country. Michael Davis, assistant director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles field office, said in a written statement. The FBI and our law enforcement partners remain dedicated to investigating and holding accountable those like Schufer, who we contend flagrantly disregarded our laws by seeking to enrich himself at the public's expense. Folks, if they get everybody who's been stealing from our government under the auspices of non-profit organizations, they're going to have to arrest more than half of all our politicians. All right? I wanted to share that with you, folks. But you can bet your boots, from this here, you're going to see many more happening. All right? And folks, do me a favor, please. Try to help me out the best you can. Subscribe to my channel. And don't be afraid to hit that like button. I don't know why people don't hit the like button. And if you don't like what I say, please give me a thumbs down, okay? Hit either button, but just don't ignore it. Okay, you either like me or you don't like me. All right, it's that simple. So, folks, I normally don't do 2 a day. I never came on this late before in the evening, but I'm sitting here. I can't find a movie to watch. So I said, let me talk to you folks and share that news with you. So I want to thank you all for coming. And folks, I tell everybody every time I especially most people in organized crime go to prison for something they didn't do. That's true. But under the RICO, they could always make up things to do. I don't know if you saw Michael Franchese on that thing with jubilation or something. Uh, he went up against 20 law enforcement agents. And, you know, a lot of times I disagree with Michael, but this time I agree with him totally. He talked about how the federal government, through the use of informants, manufacture crimes. It happened to me. I got the tapes, I got the transcripts to prove it, okay? Everything was set up by an informant. But I went away and did time, along with a few of my other co-defendants, okay? I wanted to share that. Folks, just forget about all the negativity in the world. A lot of it going on. We live in a divided country. And only we, the people, can do something about it. And the way we could do something about it is by being kind to other people, okay? Do something nice for others. And I guarantee you, it will come back to you tenfold. I tell you folks this all the time. You know, I'm 81 years old. I'm healthy. I'm mobile. I got a lot of strength, vitality, and all that there. But, you know, when you get this age, you don't know what's going to happen. We're all here for a limited time on this earth. You're born and you die. We just don't know when it's going to happen. So try to do something nice every day for others, okay? Let's try to make whatever time we have remaining happy times, all right? Thank you, Eric. I let people know I live in Beverly Hills, okay? I don't see any reason why not to. They all know it. It's in my book. I'm all over social media. I've done over 300 interviews. You know, you want to hear gangster stuff from me, just Google my name here on YouTube and look, watch some of the interviews I've been in. I talk a lot about. All right, I just did a story with Jesse from Maid Mafia and talked about my time in prison. I talked about the people that were at our table, who I was with, the Gambino guys, and all that there. And you can watch that. American Made, it's called. Okay? Nice kid, young guy named Jesse. Great interview. You should watch that there. Watch and listen to the people who were at my table while I was in NBC Brooklyn. So there's a lot of stuff there. I want to thank you all for coming in this evening. All right? Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know where you're located and is the snow affecting you? I know airports are closed everywhere, including LAX, because they can't fly nowhere. And folks, Please hit that subscribe button. So, all my love and respect to you all. Everybody have a great evening. Okay? I thank you all for coming. All right? There's a lot of weird people. Trust me. Eric, thank you for looking out, my friend. I appreciate that there. Okay? Mike, no, Michelle, I'm sorry. Okay, you were at UCLA in Westwood Thursday? Oh boy, I wish I would have known that. Did you have a good time, honey? Alright? No, my neck doesn't hurt. Why you ask, Patrick? Huh? Your neck hurts? Eric, I hope you're not homeless. Okay? And never be. Hmm. That bad, Ed. My rap sheet. I got quite a rap sheet for many things. A lot of investigations. I have more search warrants you could imagine. I'm going to talk about that my next time. Thank you, folks. God bless you. Everybody had a great evening. I love you all. Thank you so much.